We're back. This is Renovate and Build with Jim and Sandra, powered by Fair Trade Works.
Little Bo Diddley and Pollution to wake you up on a Saturday morning. Well, you might have guessed from that song that we're going to be talking sustainability in just a few moments. Thanks for joining us on Renovate and Build. My name is Sandra Lummis, and let me introduce you to my co-host, Fair Trade Works founder and president, Jim Perkins. Good morning.
Good morning, and good morning to you at home. If you're just joining us, this morning's show is all about creative thinking in hopes of changing the outcome, especially in the areas of construction and development.
And it's why we have one of the most creative minds in innovation at UBC joining us on the phone this morning. Good morning, Orion.
Good morning, Sandra.
Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today. Orion Henderson is the Director of Energy Planning and Innovation, and you may have seen him featured in the Vancouver Sun recently in a BC Hydro feature for his bright ideas. Orion, can you begin this morning by just talking about your role and how you got involved in this role at UBC?
Certainly. I've been working at UBC for about 7 years now. I started out as UBC's energy manager, and up to July of this year, I was UBC's Director of Engineering, of Sustainability and Engineering, and in the last few months I transitioned into a new role as Director, Energy Planning and Innovation. So that's really my story at UBC. So I really started out here in a sustainability role, and that's kind of just developed as UBC's kind of focus on sustainability has developed as well.
Orion, I got a question for you, but I just want to confirm you spell your name Orion, is that correct? I just want to make sure I get it right.
Orion, yeah, that's
Orion, perfect. So, right, UBC is a target of reducing the university's greenhouse gases by 33% by 2015. You know, that's a big feat. What's the kind of plan to achieve this goal?
So we released our climate action plan in 2010. It was then adopted by the UBC Board of Governors, and the 2015 target is being reached with three major projects that are in various stages of completion at the moment. The first project was building a bioenergy heat and power plant. So that's a plant that takes renewable woody biomass and turns it into renewable electricity and renewable heat for our district energy system. So that was the first major project. The second major project is converting our existing district energy system from steam to hot water. And district energy is basically a network of pipe underground the campus that delivers hot water or steam to all of our academic buildings. And then the third project we call our building tune-up program, and that's essentially taking our 100 largest, most energy-intensive buildings and then recommissioning them. And we call it tune-up because it's kind of like when you take your car into the garage. They tune it up and make it run more efficiently, and that's what we're trying to do with all of our major buildings on campus.
You make it sound so simple, and I know how complex this really is. If you can take us to the ultimate goal of completely eliminating UBC's greenhouse gases by 2050, what needs to be done to accomplish that?
Well, yeah, 2050 is quite a long time, of course. Mm-hmm. And over that time, we do expect energy prices to increase as they have done in the past. But really, we see district energy as the platform for UBC to reduce its GHG emissions. That's going to be the kind of heavy hitter in terms of really decarbonizing the fuel that we use to heat our buildings. And obviously, at the same time, we're going to continue to build super efficient, high-performance buildings and continue to make our existing buildings run more efficiently.
What will be the challenges over the next few years and ultimately decades of this kind of plan? Like, is there some big challenges in place or some major hurdles you think you're going to have to jump over?
I think that the major challenge is, of course, making the business case work.
Yeah.
We're very lucky at the university in that we take a very long-term view. So, for example, the district energy and the bioenergy project that I spoke about, those projects have a payback of 30 years.
That bioenergy, I know, like, what sort of scale is that at UBC? Because obviously it's to do with incinerating wood chips, is that correct?
That's essentially what we're doing is burning wood chips, and that plant produces about 6 megawatts of heat and about 2 megawatts of electricity.
What's that in layman's term? What would that light and heat per year, for example?
So, what would that light and heat? That would be off the top of my, I don't have that information right in front of me, but I think we calculated it to be about equivalent to about 1,500 homes. Oh
wow! And how big is that incinerator? I'm just curious because I've heard a little bit about it. I'm interested. I live, I walk my dog down with the river. I see the barges, and Leadcore have purchased all those big barges, thinking ahead to the future. And I know they kind of monopolize that traffic on the river and all those wood chips. So I'm always curious on what scale those wood chips have been burnt up at UBC.
Yeah, so I'm actually just looking out my window at the plant at the moment. It's not a huge facility at all. Yeah. The footprint of it is probably maybe 150 feet by 150 feet, and it's located adjacent to one of our student housing buildings.
So it's so it's really efficient, kind of space-wise, right?
So it's very efficient space-wise. It looks nice. There's a beautiful smell when you go down there because there's lots of cedar wood chips in there, and it really doesn't look out of place in an urban setting. There's no dirty smoke coming out the top of it or anything like that. The emissions are very, very low. So I think it's in many ways it's very much in keeping with the campus setting.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested in that. Sorry, what was the payback time in that as far as a return on investment? You say
that investment, it's an infrastructure investment, and it'll repay over about 30 years.
Okay, that's not too bad.
Orion, can you discuss the importance of why you think UBC should be at the forefront of sustainability?
Sure. I think a lot of it comes down to what's the fundamental business of UBC, and that's educating students. And part of UBC's philosophy about education is wanting its students to be global citizens, and to be inquisitive, be persuaded by evidence-based arguments, and to take responsibility for their actions. And of course, we feel that sustainability is everybody's responsibility, and we want to walk the talk, and we want to provide that experience to students when they, in some cases, live on this campus, and in other cases, spend a lot of their day here studying and researching. So I think a lot of it is to do with the basic function of the university, and then it's also, I think that there's a lot of grassroots support sustainability, whether it's staff, faculty, or students. I think there's a strong kind of West Coast ethos around sustainability and people being responsible.
Yeah, there's already a culture, and you're kind of building on that, and it's very cool to kind of empower people and educate and just kind of build on what's already in place, and it's for the good. So, can you share your views on how you feel kind of individuals can do their part on campus and throughout the city, just as far as sustainability goes? What can we do at just kind of a base level to kind of, I know we've gone through our kind of climate smart training at Fair Trade Works, so what are your views on just what we can do as an individual on a daily basis just to kind of help move things in the right direction?
Yeah, I think a lot of what you can do is just about forming good habits. I think a lot of the unconscious decisions we make can have an impact on energy use, on an impact on waste diversion, impact on water efficiency. So there's just little habits that we can form that aren't going to affect our quality of life, whether that's turning off the lights or turning off the tap when you're in the middle of washing your teeth, or rather than letting it run all the time like my kids do.
We're all chasing.
Yeah,
our
I got
children.
one of those.
I chase my boss, Orion.
And I think one other important thing people can do is around your purchasing power. If you avoid purchasing products which have used air freight, that is one thing that I believe can have a really make a significant difference in the amount of embodied energy in the products that we purchase.
It starts with the small stuff.
Yeah,
well,
totally.
Thank you so much for your time, Orion. We really appreciate it, and good luck with your goals at UBC.
Thanks, and very nice to meet you both.
Thank you, appreciate it.
We've been speaking with Orion Henderson, the Director of Energy Planning and Innovation at UBC. If you'd like to learn more about UBC's efforts in sustainability, you can visit their website at sustain.ubc.ca.
We know we throw lots of information out during our hour here on Renovate and Build, but there's no worries. You can catch up on all our links to our guests and their websites by visiting our Renovate and Build Facebook page at facebook.com/RenovateandBuild. That's Renovate and Build.
And still ahead on the show, Pet Door Solutions. That's on Product Face Off.
And we'd like to introduce you to an inventor. He's created all kinds of gadgets to make our lives simpler. Stay with us.
There's still lots more ahead. This is Renovate and Build, powered by Fair Trade Works with Jim and Sandra.